Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. Get ready to start now. Do I have somebody for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Y ahora me persino. I call this meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Can I get a motion to approve the April 30th, 2026 regular Board of Directors meeting agenda?
I move to approve the agenda for the April 30th, 2026 meeting.
Can I get a second?
I second.
So before we begin, I wanted to set clear expectations for tonight's meeting. We will follow proper decorum. That means speaking only when recognized, keeping discussions orderly, and ensuring that microphones are turned on when speaking so that the public live stream and record are accurate and complete. Side conversations, interruptions, and nonverbal disruptions are not appropriate in this setting and will not continue. As chair, I will be more intentional tonight in enforcing orders so that we maintain a professional and respectful environment and ensure this meeting is accessible to the public as required. So we'll move on to board and public comment regarding the agenda. And I did want to read something also before we proceed with public comment. The Sunnyside School District Board of Directors welcomes public participation in our meetings. We are committed to hearing from all who wish to speak. At the same time, the board must conduct its business in an orderly and respectful manner. Individuals who are disruptive, use abusive or obscene language, make personal attacks, or engage in threatening or intimidating behavior will be ruled out of order and may be asked to leave. Comments must be directed to the board as a whole, not to individual members or staff. We ask all speakers to model the respect we expect for our students and community. Do we have a list for public comment, Mr. Garza? Yeah. Thank you. Ooh, I love it. Okay, we're going to start with, is it Brianna Quintero? And then just, if you can please turn on your mic and then just speak right into the microphone, please.
Hi, my name is Brianna, and I'm a senior at the Sunnyside High School. As you consider this vote today, I ask you to think about what the decision represents beyond just a policy. This is about who we are as a community and what we value. Graduation is an important milestone, but for some of our classmates, that journey was cut short. Leaving an empty chair, saying their names, and giving an honorary diploma are small gestures, but that means a lot. They remind us that these students matter and they are still part of our class. This will not take away from graduation, it would simply strengthen it. It would show our compassion, unity, and respect for families. It offers acknowledgement and supports during a painful time for students. It helps us feel seen and gives us a sense of closure as we continue to grieve. We are not asking for anything exclusive or anything like that, just something thoughtful and respectful. Other schools have done this before, and we believe our district can too. Today, your vote can bring a comfort to families and show what kind of community we are. I respectfully ask you to support this policy and allow us to honor Sebastian, Anthony, and Israel, and many more. Thank you for your time, and I also want to respectfully address the concern that raised about whether families want this kind of recognitions, and we completely understand that every family grieves differently, and that not everyone might not be comfortable with the public acknowledgement about asking if they want something if they want it to be required or not. It's always a choice for families would be given an option to participate in whatever they say feels right for them, or to decline entirely. This approach allows us to honor those who do want that recognition while still respecting the privacy and wishes of those who do not. Our goal is not to impose anything, but to create an opportunity for compassion, inclusion, and support. In that way, is flexible and sensitive to every family needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Brianna. Sandra Lindy? Hold on a second.
Am I on? Yes. Well, okay.
Thank you, Nelly.
Thank you. I'm Sandra Lindy, as many of you, all of you know. I'm also Grandma Grizzly at the high school, and I've had several interactions with kids about the memorial situation. And I am very glad that the board is having the discussion. I really appreciate that Mr. Darbison has taken such an active role in this. And I certainly hope that you'll have the decision made before graduation this year. People are wondering if that's going to be able to happen. And I don't see why it can't. I know you have to have your first reading and your second reading, but this is such an important thing for our school community and our community at a whole. And I really appreciate the board for having these discussions and making these decisions. And I'll say, go Grizzlies. Thank you.
Julia Nava?
Good afternoon. I'm Julian Nava, and I'm a freshman at Sunnyside High School. I take honors classes, and I'd like to say I'm smart. I don't know, just a little background. But I'd like to talk about the memorial policy. And to start off, I'd like to think through the perspective of a parent who gave birth to a child, raised them all throughout their childhood. And yeah, I could just imagine they're super excited on the senior year of that child that these 12 years of education are finally going to pay off. But unfortunately, things happen and they are stripped away of that experience. And I think no parent should go through that. And I think that the chair is a great way to honor that student and make them feel important, even though they aren't still here with us. It's amazing to acknowledge them. So I think this chair is a great idea. And there is an argument how the chair might be traumatizing to another student. But personally, if I was sitting next to an empty chair, I would think of it as a blessing, and I'd be super grateful to be there at graduation, having my parents see me get my diploma, because there are other families out there who are unable because of tragic events that may have happened to their child. So that's another reason I think this chair, get a picture of them cap and gown, get their diploma is a super good idea. And as we're always reminded at the high school, once a Grizzly, always a Grizzly. And that should absolutely still be applicable even to students who have passed. And the chair and mentioning their names is a great way to honor them and remember them as a student, a citizen in the community, and most importantly, a Grizzly.
Thank you. Natalie Sanchez?
Testing? Okay. Good evening. My name is Natalie Sanchez, and I am a senior at Sunnyside High School. I'm here because students in our class have experienced the loss of classmates and friends who are a very important part in our school community. Even though they are no longer here physically with us, they are still a part of our class, our memories, and our lives. Graduation is not only about celebrating achievements, it's also about recognizing the journey our class has shared together. For many students and families, having a respectful memorial or a moment of recognition for classmates who have passed away would mean a lot emotionally and would help our school show compassion and unity. We're not asking for something disruptive or political. We're just asking for a thoughtful and respectful way to honor our students who are a part of our community and who matter deeply to many people here. Whether that's a memorial slide, reading their names, a moment of silence, flowers, or any other form of recognition our school is okay with, we hope that the district will work with the students and the families to make sure our classmates are remembered with dignity. At school, one of the sayings we hear the most often is, "Once a Grizzly, always a Grizzly." Those words are meant to represent lifelong belonging, community, and support. If that message truly defines our school, then I believe that it should also include remembering the students that we lost while we were still a part of the Grizzly family. Honoring them at graduation would show that their presence and impact on our school community will never be forgotten. Please just consider listening to the voices of the students who are directly affected by these losses. We want graduation to not only reflect our accomplishments, but also the people who help shape our class and who will always be a part of it. Before I conclude, I just want to ask one final question. If you were in this position, what would you want for your loved one or your child? I believe that many of you would want the same thing we're asking for now, just a simple, respectful acknowledgement that their life mattered and that they will never be forgotten. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Cassandra Ramirez.
Hello?
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Cassandra Ramirez. I am the older sister of Israel Ramirez, one of the students who is sadly no longer here with us. I'm here to speak on behalf of my brother Israel and his classmates Anthony and Sebastian. These boys deserve to be remembered at such an important milestone that we all know they wanted to complete, and their friends, family, and classmates are here to support us. I would like to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the students who had the courage to advocate for their classmates to be remembered during such an important milestone. Your strength and determination have truly made a difference. I also want to thank the board members for taking the time to listen to us throughout this process. Your willingness to hear our voices is appreciated, especially knowing that these decisions are not always easy. Back in February, one of the students reached out to me regarding their vision for honoring their classmates at graduation. From that moment on, I have remained in contact and offered my full support, ensuring their voices were heard. After reviewing the previous policy and being informed by the superintendent that this would not include a chair, and also knowing that the students still wanted to keep pushing and fighting for the chair, my younger brother stepped up and spoke at the last board meeting, and we decided to advocate for these students. I then personally met with Mr. Darbison and a mental health specialist to communicate the needs and wishes of these students and our family. At that time, I was given several reasons why setting out a chair was not considered appropriate. While I am thankful that Mr. Darbison has now made the decision to include a chair in honor of these students, with or without policy, I do wish that you had accepted in setting out a chair since the beginning and had not been in denial. Once again, I would like to thank the board members for their support during the board meeting work session and for standing with the students and their family. And most importantly, to the students, your persistence and unity made this possible. You did not give up, and because of that, we have achieved what we set out to do. Please always remember that your voice matters. Lastly, I would like to address a concern during the board meeting work session. I felt disheartened by the tone and demeanor expressed by Anna. In moments like these, where families and students are advocating from a place of loss and emotion, compassion and understanding are essential. There was no need for your facial expressions and aggressiveness. You are here to support families and students. Once again, this would have not been possible without the students and us as a family for advocating for what we want. We were heard, and we are the ones who made this happen. Always remember that your voice matters, you matter, and to never give up for what you want, because we are proof that if we stay consistent, we can reach for what we desire. Thank you.
Thank you. Cameron Medeles.
Hi, my name is Cameron and I'm a senior student at Sunnyside High School. I'm here I'm here today to advocate for all students who have passed away. Take a look around at how many students have attended this meeting today. It's amazing how many people came to show how they care, but it's disappointing that it has to come to this point. I believe it's the right thing to do to honor our classmates who have lost their lives. I'm here not only for the class of 26, but for all other future graduations and their families. I hope you can find it in your hearts to make the right decision today. If it were your kid, I'm sure you'd want the same to be done. On a side note, I would like to point out a specific situation. Many students who have lost their lives often felt unsupported in school, and by disapproving the idea today with the policy, you'd only be proving that you still don't care. We've lost not just our classmates, but our friends. I personally knew one of the students. He lit up every room he stepped in, and it would be truly disappointing to not have him honored with us while we walk the stage. These students are part of our high school journey and our memories. Honoring them on one of our biggest days of our lives wouldn't remind us that we lost them. It would remind us of the times we had with them. I know I can speak not only for myself, but for other students when I say it would mean everything to us to have the opportunity to have them with us on that day. To be reminded how important they are, every name should be remembered, and every parent should have the opportunity to have their child's name be called on the stage. We're not asking for much, we're just asking for the right thing to be done. Thank you.
Thank you. Vicky Frausto?
Hello, good evening, everybody. Yes, my name is Vicky Frausto, and I have to address the board, but I really just want to give the utmost respect and appreciation, and my admiration just goes to every student that's sitting here behind me. They are a true testament of what resilience and preservation is. Um, this is what happens when you don't give up. And this is what happens when you use your voice. And no matter how many times someone tells you no, you have to keep trying. You have to keep pushing. And when many doors close, I advise you to create the pathway forward, because many times that pathway isn't already built for us or for the decisions that we think are in the best interest for us, for the families, for our community. And I really want to give kudos to the majority of the board, the council, who have been open and have gone to the students, have gone to the educators, and have sat there and asked, what is it that we could do for you? Because this is what we are all here to do. No matter the position, if you're in the leadership role, in an elected position, as adults, this is what we're here to do, is make sure that we are caring for the children, make sure that we're caring for the youth, and make sure that we're setting the example of what resilience really means and embody that. So again, just a million kudos to every single one of you. No matter how many times somebody, denies a request or thinks that you're just, out of your mind, or there's, a million pushbacks online or in community, you keep going and you keep trying, because one day you will get there and it will happen. I promise you that.
Ailema Osorio?
Hi, my name is Ailema Osorio. I didn't really come prepared with anything, so I'm just gonna speak from my heart. So I guess I'm just here to also speak about the memorial and stuff. Um, I just want to say that as a younger sister of someone who should be graduating this year, but unfortunately is not able to, it would literally mean the world, for me and my family. Sorry. To be able to have this, because even though we're not seeing him walk the stage, I feel like it's just as important, the fact that he would have been there. And
It's okay. Big deep breath. It's okay.
So, if you find it in your hearts, this just means so much to not only me but the families and the students and the community of Sunnyside and SHS, because as so many people have said, once a Grizzly, always a Grizzly, and that shouldn't just be ripped away from you if you pass away. And thank you.
Thank you. Aaron Waywell. Aaron, I'm sorry, really quick. Can you put the mic a little closer to you? Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aaron Wervel, and I'm a current Sunnyside High School senior graduating this June. There's some parts of the student memorials policy that I would like to highlight, as I was very glad that they are being included. I was pleased to see that with family approval, the graduation program will include the names of all deceased students who would have been members of the graduation class. I was also glad that there will be an opportunity for the names of the students who to be announced by the principal or designee. One last thing I was glad to see was that it looked like you added a section that had a chair that would be included for each deceased student from the graduation class. I believe that having a physical memorial during graduation will have very positive impacts on how the students are remembered. By having chairs included for departed students at graduation, people will be able to fully reflect and recognize the importance of our late students. I believe that having physical reminders of someone is far more impactful than just words. By having these plans set in place, I believe it will help to remember the impact of the students we had on our community. I would then like to go into my thoughts about recognizing deceased students as a whole. The students that passed away were still part of our school and our graduation classes. So it feels wrong to have graduation ceremonies without acknowledging them as well. I may have only known one classmate that passed away, but I know dozens of students that also had friends that passed away. And through these students, I saw that with each person lost, everyone who knew them was affected, not just a few. The effect these losses take a toll on numerous students and not just any sort of recognition, and not having any sort of recognition for lost ones will do nothing to help. It does not matter how much a student or staff member died. It does not matter what the person's life was like. They are still people and they deserve to be memorialized for their impact that they had on our community. These people were real, living human beings, and they deserve to be seen. To not recognize these students, or to not recognize these people, is to directly disrespect them and their role as former community members. It's imperative that we memorialize those who were lost so that our community can better heal and support our own citizens. I thank you for your consideration of this policy. It's been a great priority for both students and community members.
Thank you, Aaron. Janine Bator. Yeah. Yeah. Were you gonna do it?
Miguel, Sebastian, Avery, Maurice, Isabel, Justin, Angel, Anthony, and Israel. 9. 9 wonderful Grizzlies with their whole lives ahead of them. Miguel, not just a great soccer player, but a kind and loving friend, brother, and son. Sebas, the epitome of we before me, the kid who always smiled and who would have made Mr. Lobestall regretting offering extra credit for solving a Rubik's Cube. Avery, the youngest, a cancer fighter, a football player, a friend. Maurice, whose smile lit up the world, an artist, a goofball. Isabel, a new mom, a sister, a granddaughter, a bolt of lightning. Justin, a shy kid who loved his friends and family. Angel, a kid who struggled. Anthony, always happy, beautiful inside and out, fiercely loyal, everyone's best friend. And Israel, an artist, fun-loving, a friend, a brother, a boyfriend, each one a life filled with potential, each leaving their mark on the lives of their friends and families, each leaving their mark on Sunnyside High School. At SHS, we live by two core principles. One, once a Grizzly, always a Grizzly. And two, we before me. If you were to ask anyone who knows Miguel, Sebastian, Avery, Maurice, Isabel, Justin, Angel, Anthony, or Israel, they will happily share. You see, these kids aren't absent in the lives of their friends, families, or teachers. The thing about once a Grizzly, always a Grizzly, is that for me, it means that no matter where you go, no matter what you do, your roots are in Sunnyside and at SHS. Each of the kids I've named, each of the kids in this room, are the DNA of SHS. If you walk into my classroom, any classroom, you will see that all of these kids are there. And a reminder to skips part. Always there. Sebas's advice, do good things for others, hangs on my wall. A reminder to me and a reminder to every student to think of we before me. Maurice's art hangs next to Sebas's wisdom, right next to my graduation cap, signed by my first group of 8th graders, next to Andrew Garcia's senior track cleats and Yumalai Lopez's senior cheer palms, a museum of the lives changed by their time in a classroom that sees who they are and who they will become. Life. That is at the core of every student, every class, every day. Life is woven into the stories they read in ELA, the lessons of math and science, the center of history. In our classroom, we teach our kids about the opportunities available to their presents and their futures. We serve as models of the principle of we before me. You see, the heart of every teacher is filled by our kids. Our first thoughts of the day are about our kids. Will the kid who never misses a day but has suddenly missed 3 days be back? Do I have enough snacks and cup of noodle for everyone who will be starving by 5th period? Our final thoughts of the day are of the kids who had rough days, of the ones whose home lives are rough, of the ones who go above and beyond. The kids become a part of who we are as humans and as teachers. When Sebas died, my immediate thoughts were of his mom, another of my students, of Alema and Alexander and Christian, of all of the kids I'd seen him hang out with, play soccer and football with throughout middle school. Without a second thought, I was at the novenas each night and the funeral, checking on my kids. Yes, even his mom is my kid. When Maurice was murdered, my room became a gathering place for his girlfriend, his cousin, his friends. They didn't get a funeral. They didn't get a goodbye. When Isabel was murdered, I thought of Saraí and Fernanda. A month later, when Justin died, I thought of my sophomores and their faces when they heard the news. When Anthony died, I thought of Ani, Jose, Angel, and Jason. Again, no second thought. My place was showing up for my kids, to put them, their pain, before my own. As a teacher, as a human, it is my commitment to guide my kids through struggle and triumph, to hold them accountable, and to show them they define who they are. I'm not alone in this job. My colleagues in this room and in every classroom in this district are my partners, and we rely on each of you to take on the moral responsibility of guiding the direction of our school community, to ensure that the policies that guide our work reflect the values and culture of Sunnyside, and that when our community is grieving, that our kids can be confident that they will be listened to, that they will be supported, that they will be loved, and that they are not alone. That no matter where they go, they are always a Grizzly.
Thank you. Haley Chavez Burke.
Good evening. My name is Kaylee Chavez Burke. In previous work sessions and board meetings, I've come with the role of a teacher. Tonight is a different role. I am a Sunnyside community member. I'm a wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend. I want to speak up in support of the policy tonight for including a chair at graduation. This symbolic representation in remembrance of these students is something that we believe should have happened a long time ago. For many of us, especially within the Hispanic community, symbolic acts like this carry deep, deep meaning. We honor those that no longer are with us presently by making space for them, by acknowledging that their presence still matters. An empty chair is not an object. It's a recognition of life, a story, a family, and our community continues to feel that loss. The truth is, for these families, for all of us, we didn't just lose these kids once. We lose them over and over again in every missed milestone, every celebration, every moment, every what could have been, every what should have been. Those moments stay with us. And graduation is one of those moments that's a life milestone, and their absence is deeply felt. Creating a space does not dwell on grief or glamorize the cause of death. It honors their lives and reminds us that they are still part of our community, our Grizzly family. They live on in the friendships that they built, the lessons they taught us while they were here, the memory of their laughter, the mark that they left on each of us. They live in us. I do know that there's concerns about whether this policy follows or aligns with best practice, but I want you to consider that best practice is not always best if we also dismiss the context, if we also dismiss the cultural community and the values that this board has set out to serve. It does not address the lived experiences and can be very limiting and unsupportive if we don't hear the voices that we've heard tonight. I also want to point out a current and recent discussion in which best practice within, for example, start and end times was questioned, and whether or not that fit our community. While there may be research that could support certain benefits, your guys' conversation was very telling that you wanted it to be very specific to us. And we were listening and heard that you're understanding that that is an important component to keep in mind, which I believe this policy, it's the very same. I believe that this policy is one of these moments where we can show compassion, bring humanity back to our community that maybe have missing for much time, and unfortunately might have been a contributing factor to the lives lost. I also believe that these values should be what guides the decisions that are made tonight. I also question the current revised policy that you'll read tonight and want you guys as board members to please question what was taken out between Tuesday and now and why. Is it specific enough? Does it give enough must-dos to ensure that these kids are getting what they deserve, that these families are getting what we deserve? Thank you for your time. And meaningful change can start tonight. Thank you.
Aaliyah Gonzalez.
Hi, my name is Aaliyah Gonzalez. I'm here to make sure that, well, not make sure, I'm with the students as well, that the students should be recognized as students, because yes, as I've heard many times in the intercom every morning, once a Grizzly, always a Grizzly. That should be even if their life was taken from them. No matter what the circumstances was of their death, whether it was gang-related, an accident, anything like that, they still attended your school and they still represented your school. They thought of them going to school was a way to get away from home, whatever issues they had. They thought you guys were the safest place. I'm gonna be honest, you guys wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for the students and the parents. So why shouldn't their voices be heard? Considering the fact that the school has a bad reputation itself, you'd think you guys would ask the public's opinion to fix that. This is one reason. Allow students to talk about their peers and recognize their efforts, including showing up along with their family's approval. I wish I was as brave as these students were to speak up for Maurice and Isabel, who were some of my best friends. They were all kids. Put yourselves in their shoes. If they were one of your children or as a school board member, you would want to be recognized for the horrible decisions that you guys be making. You guys won't want to be put up on the board and be recognized as what you guys did, even though if it was bad or good. When my friend Maurice passed away, I called Mr. Shines at Mr. Darbison's office, along with other friends who were close to him. We were told not to even mention his name. We were told not to talk about the incident, even though that was our friend. This high school seems to does not care at all. Maurice asked for help repeatedly, and you guys did nothing to get him off the streets. Just the one person that decided to help him wasn't able to come back to the school in order to help him. What does that say about you guys? You guys are sending kids to the school that doesn't even care, that you guys don't even care about their well-being. I couldn't even represent Maurice at my graduation. It's like the school had failed him and forgotten him. Recognizing them is a sign of respect. If you don't know what that is, it's providing closure for the student's family and teachers honoring who is no longer with us. Your comments made students feel like we are not heard or respected for our opinion, as if their students didn't matter what they tend to feel. It would have meant the world to me and others if the school cared enough that they had something done for my best friend. This is about the parents and the peers, not about the school. It shouldn't be up to the principal, but what the family should feel like. They should get treated as everyone else. Again, no matter the circumstance, if they finished or not, they should still attend the school and be represented. Thank you.
Thank you. Giselle Salgado.
Good evening. My name is Giselle Salgado, and I'm a senior at Sunnyside High School. Like a majority of you board members and other individuals in this room currently, I have been fortunate enough to be given the opportunity to reach the typical milestones in life, such as earning a driver's license, experiencing all parts of my senior year, and soon I'll be crossing the graduation stage alongside my friends and classmates I grew up with. It is a privilege to have lived long enough to experience these moments, something I have learned not to take for granted. Many students were never given these opportunities. They will never get their driver's license, attend senior activities they spent years looking forward to, or be given the chance to continue excelling in school or sports. This coming June, they will not be able to walk across the stage at their graduation ceremony. By choosing to not honor the students who were unable to see their graduation day, you are not only disregarding their lives, but also the grief and love carried by their families, friends, and community. No matter the circumstances of one's passing, their life mattered and their absence is deeply felt. I, like many of my peers here today, am speaking for those who cannot speak for themselves. My personal connection to one of these individuals is what has fueled my drive to speak today. I find myself reminiscing about Sebastian's unmet goals he set for himself in the 8th grade and remembering his ability to lift the spirits of any room he walked into. Honoring these students is not about dwelling on loss. It is about recognizing that they were a part of this community, that they had futures and dreams. Honoring them ensures their loved ones a moment of acknowledgement and respect during a milestone they should have been able to reach. I hope with my and my fellow community members' testimonies, you can consider that by honoring these individuals, you will be allowing them to reach one last milestone they should have been here to reach themselves. We are not asking for much, but simply want to be able to honor our loved ones we have lost.
Thank
you.
Diana Murphy.
Testing. Oh, okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Diana Morphine. I think if my classmates were to describe me, they would say I'm very outgoing, and talking in front of people is something that I am not scared about, but this is very intimidating. But I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to speak here today. Advocating to change the policy for our school district is something that my classmates and I have talked about since our sophomore year. My friend passed away. Not being able to speak about the incident at school and just hearing the teachers read the same statement when a student passed away was a really like weird feeling. It was almost like if it was scripted beforehand for situations like these. Having to have our feelings and emotions hidden because we aren't able to speak about the ones who passed away made the grieving worse. When we come to school, we can feel the eerie feeling of knowing what occurred to these classmates. We almost look forward to coming to school to be able to see our friends and use each other as a comforting feeling, but our emotions would be shut down. How do you think that makes us feel? Being told if you guys want support, the counseling center is open. Like, let's just go send a lot of students to go talk to the counselor to hear the same thing. We're sorry about what you're going through. Everything will get better. Realistically, it won't. We grew up with these kids, have memories with them. These kids are someone's son or daughter, sister or brother, niece or nephew, or loved one. And we're just supposed to forget about them and act like they never existed. Even if that's not what's physically being said, that is exactly how the situation makes us feel. Being senior class president, I was able to help pass out caps and gowns on the 15th of this month, and I seen one left over. One of our classmates that sadly passed away in October. It was very sad that he ordered a cap and gown but won't be able to wear it. Every student that walks in our school should be remembered regardless of them being with us the day we walk across the stage or not. As a community, I think I could speak for some of my classmates by saying that honoring these students would bring us all closure. Thank you.
Thank you. Oscar Bonilla.
Good evening, y'all. Good evening, everybody. Let me get this out here. Sorry, wasn't prepared. Good evening, y'all. My name is Oscar Bonilla. I'm part of the graduating class of this year. I was a really close friend of Sebas's before he passed away, of course. I am here today to ask that we honor a class we have lost during this year's graduation. Sebastian was more than a name on a list or a memory from the past. He was also a son, a brother, a friend, an athlete, and someone who brought energy and positivity to him and people around him. He mattered deeply to many students, and his absence is still felt to this day. Honoring Sebastian and other students we have lost should not be about how they passed away. It should be about recognizing who they are, who they lived, or their lives and what they lived and the impact they had on our school community and community in general. Graduation is about celebrating their journey and recognizing every student who was a part of it. Some of our classmates here are not here today to walk up the stage with us, but they are still part of our story. Acknowledging them would also send a message, that the message being that our school believes in compassion, healing, and remembering one another. Silence can feel like forgetting, but recognition can help bring comfort and unity. This should not even be a difficult discussion. Honoring students who were part of this community should come naturally, because remembering them is not it's not controversial, it's compassionate. I respectfully ask the board to reconsider and allow a moment of acknowledgement for the students we have lost. Thank you, everybody, and thank you guys all for your time.
George Campos.
Hi, everyone. My name is George. I'm a part of this year's graduating class. One of my friends was one of the ones that passed away before graduation. He wasn't just a friend, he was a brother. There are others that passed that I also think we should honor, every single one of them. They were a part of our high school journey with us even before they passed, before seeing the stage. But they were on the journey with us. For me, Sebastian was with me through every day, before and after, first physically, then in spirit. He was there through every test, every snap on the football field, every event, and every single day. My brother and best friend, and every single one of the kids who have passed away were way more than what we have been treated like. a number on a list, a percentage, or a changing graduation rate. We are family. Kids who have been there since we first entered into the schools. They deserve to be recognized regardless of their circumstances. They are more than just a name on a list. They are sons, students, brothers, and important to all of us. No matter what way they passed, acknowledging them shows that this community runs deep. That kids care enough to show up and stand. We aren't asking for anything crazy, just a chair and a name read that holds weight in every one of our hearts to be read. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Cynthia Garibaldi.
Sorry, this is hard. Hi, my name is Cynthia Garibaldi.
It's okay. Take your time.
I am the older sister of Anthony Gutierrez. I would like to discuss the memorial policy. I'm here today to speak for him and his classmates that are also no longer here. Since their time was cut short, Anthony was working so hard towards making our mother proud, not only her, but his little brother and his sisters by graduating. I know it's difficult for many families and friends, but I know this would be very important to them. It was important when they were here with us, and that is not going to stop with them being gone. We need to complete the goal they had made for themselves. They shouldn't be forgotten. I don't think we are asking for too much. As someone that graduated from Sunnyside High School, and as Anthony's sister, I wouldn't want to be disappointed that the high school I was once proud of graduating from is rejecting or forgetting about these students that had life plans, and especially my brother that would have been proud and happy of graduating from Sunnyside High School like his big sister. Thank you for your time, and I hope our voices were heard today.
Valeria Alvarado.
Members of the school board, administrators, teachers, families, and fellow students, thank you for giving me the time to speak today. My name is Valeria Alvarado, and I am a current senior at Sunnyside High School. I stand here not just as a student, but as a voice for something deeply important to our graduating class. There are students who should be walking across the stage with us, celebrating years of hard work, growth, and memories. But they won't be there, and that absence will be felt. Graduation is meant to be a moment of unity. It's a moment where we look around and see the people who have been part of our journey. But for us, there will be empty spaces that represent friendships, laughter, shared classrooms, and futures that were cut short. We're asking you to help us acknowledge that reality in a meaningful and respectful way. One simple but powerful idea is to place an empty chair for each of those students during the ceremony, a chair that represents their presence even in their absence, a chair that says they mattered, they belonged here, and they are not forgotten. This isn't about making the ceremony sad. It's about making it honest. It's about recognizing that our class story includes them too. If a chair is not possible, we are open to other meaningful ways to honor them, whether that's reading their names, including them in the program, or creating a moment of recognition during the ceremony. What matters most is that their lives are acknowledged alongside ours, because honoring them doesn't take anything from the celebration, it adds to it. It reminds us of the value of every single student, and it shows compassion, unity, and respect. For many students, this is personal. These were our classmates, our friends, people we grew up with. And as we move forward into the next chapter of our lives, we want to carry those memories with us in a way that is visible and meaningful. We're not asking for something extravagant. We're asking for something human, a gesture that says you were part of us and you always will be. I hope you will consider this not just as a request, but as an opportunity to show what kind of community we are and what kind of values we stand for. Thank you for your time.
Yeah. I would like to read two letters into the record as well from a student and a teacher. The first one is from Julian Villanueva. He wrote this email to the superintendent after our last board meeting in regards to the original presented memorial policy. Board members, I'd like to thank you for recognizing our basketball team and our trip to state. I also heard there have been talks about honoring students who have passed during graduation, and I want to say how much I support that. As someone who has lost a friend to brain cancer my freshman year, I believe it's important to honor them for their families and for the people they were. I do small things to honor my friend Avery. Before basketball games, I write bravery on my wrist tape, and I wear a wristband that says Avery Strong. I think about the fact that he never got to experience what I've gotten to experience. If he were here, we'd all be together. Honoring students who have passed at graduation is a big deal. It matters to their families, and it matters to those of us who loved them. I hope you'll move forward with it. Thank you, and thank you for your time. Julian Villanueva, SHS Junior. This one is from Elizabeth Witherspoon. Hello, Mr. Maxwell and school board members. I'm writing to share some of my thoughts on policy in review 2405. I am an alumni, parent, community member, and teach business and publishing at Sunnyside High School. In the past 25 years of working at SHS, I have lost a few students to the meaningless deaths, the suicide, the gang shootings, the car accident. Each one is sad and heartbreaking. I walked by their empty desks and wondered what I could have done to help. I cried over ungraded work that I graded, even though I knew that they would never know I graded it. I watched the news and wondered what people would do if they knew the real student I knew. I understand wanting students to be remembered for who they were. I also understand letting people grieve and have time to do so in the best healthy way possible for all staff, students, and families. I have read the policy under review. I believe this is a good policy as written, with a couple changes, mainly to the yearbook section and when our school yearbook staff would need the photos turned in to make sure we can still print them. They would need to be turned in by the senior portrait deadline. As a yearbook advisor of over 20 years, I am often approached by students who want to remember their friends who have passed, and our policy for the last 15 years has been that we include the student normally in every activity they lived. The football player is still featured in the football section. The science student is still in her seat in class, but we do not glamorize their death to make them bigger in death than we would have been in life. I am sure that with all the conversation we have run across the topics of suicide, contagion, or the Werther effect. The Werther effect is research that it has data which shows that if you normalize, glamorize, or sensationalize suicide, shootings, and other types of non-natural deaths, it will cause copycatting. I have heard people talk about a chair at graduation or memorials of different types. I believe these items would glamorize student deaths, and it could cause this type of copycatting. As a staff member, parent, and community member, I encourage you not to add to the sadness of the already tragic events by putting policy into effect that may cause more deaths. Please look into the research and lean in on professionals if you plan on changing any more of this policy. I remember each of my students who passed without glamorizing any of them. To my football player, my writer, and my student who couldn't sit still even if you tried but made me laugh at times I really shouldn't have, I still remember you. You are not forgotten. Thank you. Elizabeth Witherspoon. And before we move on to the agenda, I also wanted to say something. Tonight, as we move to get to the second reading of this memorial policy, I want to take a moment to reflect on what this truly represents. This did not happen overnight. This moment is the result of years of advocacy, persistence, and heart, especially from students. I am incredibly proud of the students who had the courage to speak up, to share their vision, and to keep pushing forward, even when they were met with barriers. Your voices mattered, and they made a difference. I also want to recognize educators and staff who stood beside them, who listened, and who helped carry this forward. That kind of support does not go unnoticed. I also want to be very clear about something. Throughout this process, we remained aligned with the student voice. That is what's most important here. This policy was developed thoughtfully, responsibly, and in a way that reflects both best practice and our commitment to our students and families. For clarity, we never went against OSPI or ESD 105 as stated on Tuesday. For too long, efforts like this were set aside, but tonight shows what is possible when leadership reflects its community. When we listen with cultural understanding, when we are culturally competent, and when we lead with empathy. I'm proud to have been part of the conversations that helped move this forward, and even more proud that we are finally here. At its core, this policy is about honoring the lives of students who are no longer with us. It is about making sure they are not forgotten, that they remain a part of the family of their graduating class, their schools, and this community. To the families who carry that loss every day, please know that our hearts are with you. This policy is a small but meaningful way to ensure your children are remembered, recognized, and forever valued. Because the truth is, they will always be a Grizzly. They will always matter. They will always be a part of us. Like our motto says, and many of you mentioned, once a Grizzly, always a Grizzly. My hope is that this policy brings a sense of comfort, of visibility, and of honor, that those we have lost are remembered not just in grief, but in love, and that in some way, they are smiling down from heaven, feeling seen and heard. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna go into a 3-minute intermission. Yeah, yeah, he was asking for that, so yeah.
I just wanted to share a couple thoughts about this policy as this is the topic of the day. This is a heavy room right now. It's a heavy feeling in this room, and I'm so grateful for those who came and spoke and shared. It's not an easy task, especially having to come and speak in front of a board and a microphone and being recorded, and it's a lot. So I commend you all for coming out and sharing tonight with us. Regardless if this policy takes another month to finish, or it gets finished tonight, or it takes 2 months to finish, I want to express my gratitude to Mr. Darbison for taking the time to ensure that regardless on our timeline, you're making sure that graduation is going to be successful for these students in regards to their honoring of their students. And so thank you for taking the time and making sure that that's going to happen. When we develop a policy, so much more goes into it than just a couple like key points. There's lots of words to look over and exactness to get just right. And so that when I look at a policy, that's always kind of where my mind goes. Is this exactly how we want it to be said and how we want it to be written? Is, you know, I've already got notes in here for on mine, and I saw Evaristo marking his up. And I think this is how we develop, and this is how we do the process. My 3 ladies sitting here in the front, you saw the process come to life, and you know how much goes into this policy and the creating of these policies. So please, whether or not this gets approved tonight or it needs more work, please know that there is something being done, and we are pushing for this policy to be approved. We just want to make sure that it's done with exactness. So thank you so much for your words, because they really did impact me and my thoughts tonight. So thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Go ahead, Anna.
Good evening. I have been going through a lot, so I apologize if I seemed kind of brash on Tuesday. As an educator's perspective, there is a lot, like when I did hear some students say that we're not sensitive and that we did the reading, like everybody had the scripted guideline and stuff. Trust me, we do that because we're liable for many things. And with you guys saying all this, I actually had a loss of a student in my building last year. And it has brought up a lot of stuff because every day we have to remind kids that you're special, you're loved. We're here to help you out. Please, if you feel alone, do not hesitate to come talk to us. And what the thing that really concerns me, because I'm so torn, I have kids that will glamorize having a chair. Because I have kids that feel they're worth nothing. That the only way they'll be worthy is if they're dead. And that really hurts me to feel that I want to see any kid or remember any student just as a memorial. I want us to do something to stop so we don't lose any more kids. And I guarantee you, a lot of teachers wished we could be more personable, but there's many things and laws that we have to be very careful of how we cross the line. Always. So please don't think we're insensitive. We care very much and we love you guys. It's just we have to be careful how we cross that line. And my point that I've done lots of research. I even spoke to a doctor of it's National Center for School Crisis and Bereavement. Sorry, I can't even talk. And I asked him, every side I'm seeing, nobody recommends the chair. Why? Can you tell me why? And a lot of it is because they glamorize death. Okay, we should be celebrating life, celebrating the student. That's why it's the chair. That's the only reason. And I mean, I've looked at different, I found a story. Last year, 2025, they denied the chair for a girl that committed suicide. Okay. I don't agree. We should not, we should give love and support to those that passed away. But we have to prove that a chair or not a chair doesn't matter. Okay, we're stronger than that. And that we're here to help. Please reach out. Be familiar with your counselors. Be familiar with 988. Make sure if you can't talk to your parents, okay, talk to a counselor. Talk to a trusted adult. So that is something that I'm very torn because I have an educator lens, a mom lens, a sister lens, and I have to look at all different aspects. And I deal with over 100 kids every day that have bad home lives, don't feel the best, and we have to be there every day to remind them there's people that care and love you, and we're always here for you. So please don't disregard. I seemed set, just brought back how I have to continue to be strong and be supportive for our students. That's what our staff has to do. Okay? It's hard, but we have to be professional. So this is going to be a lot of thought, but remember, we love you as adults and as the board. Okay, thank you.
Class of 2026, I'm so proud of you. I'm really proud of you for taking the time to, come and voice your opinion. We're here for you all. We're here for the community. We're here for our families. But I also want to recognize too, I think respect needs to be given too and you can disagree with me or not, but thank you, Raquel, for pulling that policy when it was going to go to second reading, because it was going to go to second reading without putting the chair. So, thank you for getting into the conversation where we were able to now put the chair in the policy, because you all have been asking for it tonight. So I congratulate all of you all. And, this is what happens when you bring your voice at the table and you continue to advocate for yourself and what your needs are, so then we can hear and also put, wording into policies, because that is our job too, is to also create policy. And so thank you, class of 2026, the girls that got this started, the teachers that were behind this. Wow, that's all I have to say. So thank you very much.
Evaristo. I really appreciate all of you guys coming up here and explaining to what it feels like to lose somebody like that. I think we need to hear that because decisions that we make, we need to understand the consequences of those decisions and how they affect the people that we serve. And I think, yes, policy is difficult, all that kind of stuff. But when it affects the community in a certain way, we need to feel it too, and we need to hear it. It is not about hiding the people that we've lost, but celebrating them. And I think it's important that you come up here and you explain that, because a lot of people up here can forget that. They can disconnect it by reading too much or studying policies or looking at events that happen somewhere else, and they forget what's happening here in the community. By you coming up here and speaking and explaining to us, I could feel every single word. And we need that. We need the community to come up here and show us how their heart bleeds when we make the wrong decision. We have to be held accountable for the decisions we make. We need to listen to the community. And the only way we can do that is when strong students and people come up and explain to us what our policies do and how they affect the community, whether positive or negative. So I commend you guys for coming up here. And I'm so sorry that you had to come up here and go through that, because it should have been a lot easier than this. It should not have to have come to this, to set up a chair as a way to memorize those individuals that worked for it and lost their life's tragedy. And I apologize that you have to relive these moments just to simply say to the people that you love and the people that you spent all these years with, to say, we remember you. I hope that next time, and then when we make policy in the future, that is led by compassion, not by fear, by love, and not by worry. So thank you all for coming up here and showing that. My heart is with all of you.
Thank you, Evaristo. I wanted to say something else really quick after Sandra's comment. I will not take credit for pulling the procedure. The only reason I pulled it is because of the public comment that was said. That's why it's so important to come and make public comment. That after, I don't remember I think Cassandra's brother came and made public comment, I pulled it because it's very important that we listen to public comment. Public comment is always important, so please continue to come, continue to make public comment. Let us hear your voice, because that's what we are here to do. It was said that, we're here to make sure Ryan's okay. He's fine. He's gonna be okay. We're here to govern. We're here to lead, but we're here for you. Okay, so please continue to fill up this boardroom just like today. We are gonna have a 3-minute intermission, please.
Okay. Hi guys, Lori Arreguin. I'm here from Rod's house. But firstly, I am here in support of my family, my niece, my nephew Sebastian, and the Sunnyside student body. I've heard a lot of things. I think that I do want to say that silencing our students and not allowing them to stop or to talk does not make the issues go away. It honestly creates more mental health issues that these students are going to have to deal with as they move forward in school and in life. I also want to say that trauma-informed care goes a long way when you are working with our youth and our young adults. And some of the comments that I've heard that's been made leads me to believe that some of our instructors in the school district could really benefit from some training. Moving past that, secondly, I'm here for Rod's house as well. Some of you may know that our young adult emergency home has recently closed, unfortunately, due to lack of funding. However, we want to talk about how those services are still continuing here in the Lower Valley and how Rod's house is very much still present and working here in your community.
Hello, my name is Sylvia Munoz, and I would like to make 2 comments today, one from a professional scope and another on a personal level. I'd like to briefly address on an issue raised earlier comment regarding a student on the streets and not having support. Rod's house has a licensed youth shelter in Yakima, and we work closely with the McKinney-Vento liaisons to ensure that youth are able to continue attending school in their home districts while getting their basic needs met. Our outreach team is always available to assist with accessing these services. On a personal level, I'd like to comment on the student graduation memorial. On July 12th, 2023, my younger cousin Sebastian Osorio left this earth in the most tragic way. By noon that same day, Sunnyside School District counselors on their summer break set up canopies in my family's front yard and began holding grief and loss sessions. This extension of support offered lasting impact to the students affected by my cousin's loss. I heard several comments about empty chairs at graduation possibly being traumatic. I want to point out that the empty chairs are already present in classrooms, in cafeterias, in sporting events. The empty chairs are still there. They're there. The students see them every day. Not acknowledging that invalidates their feelings. Having a chair at graduation acknowledges the absence, acknowledges the life lost, and validates the effect that loss had on the student peers. I'm glad that Sunnyside School District is making the change to show that these voices behind me matter and that our loved ones mattered as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to say one more thing. Your student body has a culture of its own, and it's not yours, it's theirs. Pay attention to it.
Thank you, Lori. Okay, moving on to item 3A on the agenda, honors and recognition. We're going to start with WASA Honorary Award, Maria Mora.
Stand here. It is my pleasure. Every year, the ESD 105 and OWASA recognizes community and student leaders from the Valley. This year, Maria Mora and family, because I know Maria doesn't do it all on her own, will be recognized at the ESD 105 Awards Banquet in Yakima for the Community Impact Award. The Mora Family's Indoor-Outdoor Soccer Club benefits hundreds of Sunnyside students across all grade levels. Their deep commitment to youth athletics included a dedicated focus on mentoring and opportunity. They provide essential equipment, host camps that link young players with professional soccer mentors, and organize a seasonal Christmas drive for families in the district office. Their comprehensive support delivers immense impact and crucial opportunities to Sunnyside's youth. Thank you, Maria and family, and congratulations on the award. And I look forward to presenting it to Yakima in 3 weeks. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to say anything?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sunnyside Distrito, por... ¿O en español? Mi nombre es María Mora, vivo aquí en Sunnyside. Este programa lo empezamos en el 2011 y cada año crece más. Estoy muy agradecida con el distrito escolar porque si ellos no me apoyaran, yo no lograra todo esto. Todo es para la juventud de San Isai, porque quiero que los niños se mantengan ocupados y salgan de la calle. Muchas gracias por el apoyo y por este premio, que es más del distrito escolar que del mío.
Can I get a picture? Where's the, oh, over here, picture, where do you want? Oh, okay, right here.
Moving on to discussion, item 4A, Student Board Representative.
Told them I wasn't gonna speak this time, so you.
Do you think you can go without speaking?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, school board, for having me again. Like I've mentioned before, about the student voice workshop where we did the sampling of advisories, 2 of each grade level in the red, yellow, and green. Just recently, we hosted our second student leaders club, and this is where we created our action plans. Our action plan number 1 was enhanced collaboration, where suggestions included creating more opportunities for club collaboration and promotion, as well as leadership camps for club officers. Action plan number 2 was treatment of others with respect and dignity, and this is addressing hurtful and discriminating language while fostering a more inclusive and collaborative environment. Sorry, guys, but yeah, I actually got to attend this one, and it was really cool seeing all the clubs collaborate and seeing what we can do better to improve not only the school culture, but the clubs in general. Do you have anything to say, Martinez?
Yeah. Yeah, there was there's actually some students that are here tonight that are part of the club presidents, and it's been it's been a neat experience to have them come in and share their opinions on how we can make our school better. I'm excited to see where the action plans go. Part of it will be presenting to our admin team, to the Grizzly SIT, and then I would imagine they'd be coming to the school board and presenting their plans to you guys too.
So don't go anywhere, Cami. So I would like to, this is kind of a surprise, but kind of not, because Cami, I think, knows. As I mentioned a minute ago, the ESD and WASA give a yearly student leadership award. This year, I'm pleased to say Cami has won that award, and Mr. Martinez wrote a very beautiful recommendation letter for you. So I do want to give you a little excerpt from Mr. Martinez's letter, okay? Cami Garcia is an exceptional student leader at Sunnyside High School, nominated for her profound dedication to student voice and school culture. As the ASB vice president for 2 years, she demonstrates leadership by example with a work ethic second to none. Cami acts as a crucial liaison between students and the school board, reporting on efforts to improve school culture and actively ensuring the voice of all students is heard. She is respected by peers and adults for building powerful relationships and contributing to the culture of SHS. Additionally, she has devoted many hours to supporting the Special Olympics through the varsity cheer team, positively impacting special needs students. Congratulations, Cami. And there is only one student per school district for the entire ESD 105, so Cami is the one. So congratulations.
Good job, Cami.
Thank you, guys.
Were you, sorry, were you?
No, I'm waiting.
He's waiting for the high school.
Oh,
They're next.
yeah. So moving on to 4. Okay.
Can we get a picture with Cami too? 'Cause she's, yeah.
Sorry. What is it?
I want to
Should
get a
high
picture.
school.
Come on, Cami.
High school presentation.
Well,
I
this
missed
is
that
a
one.
good recognition.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Come on, Cami.
I guess we're all going up.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
good.
there, yeah.
So it's just high school.
Well, no, the tall one's in the middle.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing?
Get in the extra. We're all over blue.
I'll do it.
Oh, so there's a lot more on there. Oh, no, just that one?
Just here and here.
Okay.
Sunnyside High School.
So moving on to 4B, Sunnyside High School Board Report.
Yes.
It's right behind you. Yeah.
Turn that to the board.
If you need to. Are you folks ready? Okay, thank you. Thanks for having us this evening. Well, we're here tonight to kind of share with you a little bit about our core beliefs and philosophies of Sunnyside High School and kind of review our systems of support that we've been operating in this year. And you'll see the first slide of our presentation we put together this evening. And yes, once a Grizzly, always a Grizzly. And I really appreciate a lot of the comments we heard this evening about that. That is one of our core philosophies. This is what we believe and how we operate. And when we talk about our core beliefs and philosophies, we're trying to create that culture for learning. And I kind of want to highlight what that means for us. You know, a culture for learning at Sunnyside High is the belief that we wholeheartedly engage each other in a collaborative environment where we support each other in the process of discovering and learning and growing what is best in meeting the needs of the staff and students of the building. So that's what we do at Sunnyside High. We live that culture for learning. And I'll go through, sorry. And that culture for learning is, we're on slide 4, please. That culture for learning and those behaviors we exhibit in creating that culture, we have a framework that we live under. 2 more slides down, please. 1 more. There you go. We live within a framework to create that culture for learning. And that framework is really where we press each other in the work. Teacher to teacher, staff to staff, staff to student to student. We press each other in growing and learning in our systems and our schoolwork for students. And in that press, we also support each other. And while we're pressing and supporting each other in that work, we're building relationships and trust. And when you have all those things together, that's how you create that culture for learning, that collaboration where we learn and grow together and make our systems better. So this evening, if you go to the next slide, please, that's what we're going to do a little bit tonight. We're going to talk about the focus of our work, how we've been growing our support systems, behavior, attendance, keeping students green, our PLCs, and how all this work leads to graduation and really the success of our students and knowing what their pathways are when they leave our high school. As our administrators and what we like to call gardeners of our systems in the school, they're going to highlight a little bit of the systems that they do garden, where they've been this year, the things that they've implemented, how we've grown and struggled, and the successes we've had, and what we think it's going to look like next year as we move forward. Okay. And I'd like to first introduce you to Mr. Wise, who's going to share a little bit about some of the things he's been working with.
There's so much to talk about and so little time, but I'm excited to talk a little bit about our vision first. The vision that we had in our district, of course, I'm sure you know, all students will be successful. Really, when they added that second part, career, college, and life ready, I think we really encapsulated exactly what we're trying to do with our students, help them become ready for their future. And so what I spend a lot of my time on, and I think all of us do in many ways, is trying to figure out how do we do that in every aspect of our work and every experience we give to our students. One of the things that we have really spent a lot of time on last year and this year is the pathways. graduation pathways of different kinds, those that take students through CTE courses, those that take students through some of the state requirements and our own district requirements. There's just so many of them. But I wanted to highlight one tonight, which is the one that involves working towards an AA or working towards getting additional college credits. And we've continued to expand that. And one of the focuses we had this year, this slide right here is from a presentation on what we call accelerated pathways. We offer over 40 college courses now, over 190 credits that our students could earn. And we partner with Central Eastern and YVC. Central is underlined because the majority of our courses come through them. But YVC, we just really appreciate the partnership we have with them because we can't offer an AA. It's YVC that actually does that. So we work with them to help our students get access to that. And we have a profound appreciation for their work with us. Now, how do we know what students want? What is their pathway? What it really is a set of goals, a set of inventories of what their interests are and what careers those match up with. And nothing speaks to that more than the High School and Beyond plan. That has grown in the activities involved with it. And this year we got the opportunity to implement School Links. We did a full implementation. And our students, the due date for the High School and Beyond plan was essentially today. So we had over 75% that have already completed it. And I won't go through the whole slide, but I know you'll have access to it later. But it has 8 components, and it's just exciting to see what's in there. And so another focus of this year has really been how our PLCs, how our teachers individually are working to help our students. And we focus on 4 big questions when we do that. What do we really want our students to know in our classes, in our PLCs? How are we going to know if the students are learning that? And then how are we going to respond? This particular slide has numbers down there. Each of our trimesters is about 12 weeks. Right now, we're just about ending with the 7th week. And so we're following what we call the rhythm of the work. And that involves those 4 questions, returning to them, focusing on them, working around them, and asking ourselves as staff, as PLCs, where are we focused right now? Why are we focused on that? And part of that involves responding to where students are at. And this slide is about the systems of support that we have. We use a red, yellow, green system, which I know you've heard about many times. And so this slide shows just sort of where are those green, yellow, and red systems and who are the staff involved in those. And we just have a strong team with lots of people focused on how do we help our students become that college career life ready. So in a nutshell, that's our focus. That's my focus and our goals, and we're getting closer to meeting them every single day. So thank you. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Oh yeah, please. Yeah.
You know, just because I know your focus is on college and career ready. I know that our statistics right now for Sunnyside, we're what, like a 49% financially completed?
Yeah, I think we might be at 52 right now, but you're
Okay.
right. It's right around there.
So since we're like almost at the end of graduation, what can we do moving forward to get our students for a higher percentage of like 85 or above, right? Is that something that we can do to where it's a requirement? And I know when we use the word requirement, it's like we're pushing something upon students, but not all students will go to a college or university, but at least getting that completed to where they know that process of getting financial aid. That doesn't mean they have to go to college, right? Or wherever it is, but how can we get to that percentage, to get higher than a 52% when we're already at the end of their almost graduation?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. I think that it's always a challenge. The focus I tend to have, and this is just me personally, the focus I tend to have is to try to really help students envision their future and really make sure that they understand what it takes to reach that future. That's why I'm excited about the High School and Beyond plan. I think it's going to help students recognize what they need to do, includes the FAFSA, includes applying to a college, includes all these different parts that sometimes they're overlooking because they're not quite clear on what their vision is. You're right. I think to get to a really high percentage would probably require a step of saying, you know, you really have to do this. Because we offer a lot of opportunities to get students to get support in completing it, and even for parents to get some support. We offer a lot of FAFSA support evenings and day sessions. But it's tough to get beyond that 55% until we make it a requirement. We haven't, as a school, done that yet, but that is something that we've discussed many times. But we're always really careful about telling students they have to do something because we want to make sure that we give them the freedom to explore what avenues they think are necessary for themselves and for their families. But that's what we're after. And I think the High School and Beyond plan is going to help us cross that bridge. So we're going to keep offering opportunities to get it done and exploring ways we can make it virtually required, maybe even more. I don't know, but that's something we're going to keep exploring.
Has there been years in the past where it's been higher or like?
We've had some that are a little bit higher, you know, but I don't know that we've broken 65%. I don't think we've ever gotten above that percent. And I do think, though, we may never have had as many students with declared visions for their future. So to me, that's the precursor to getting more students to complete the FAFSA is knowing what they want to do. Without taking too much more time, since I oversee the counseling office, I talk to students who are struggling in school. And one of the top factors in their lack of success is they don't know what they want to do after high school. Well, the High School and Beyond plans required every single school year, starting in 8th grade. Well, they start working on it in 7th grade. But that means every year with staff support, with family support, students have to declare, this is what I want for my future. And I think that the more we help students get involved in that High School and Beyond plan and the activities connected to it, I hope the more motivation they'll have to follow through on those behaviors that will take them to college, trade schools, and other opportunities.
Well, I see the wheels turning over here, so.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a question, if you're done talking, Raquel, may I ask? Okay. School Links, is that start as a freshman or do you start that as a middle school thing? Do they have to have it done before they get to the high school? So if you could explain a little more?
Yeah, do you mind going back to slide 11, it looks like? So the High School and Beyond plan itself is, one more. Oh yeah, there we go. So School Links that Anna mentioned is that little yellow icon. The state gave all districts in the state dates or school years they had to implement it. It's either this year or next year. So we implement the high school this year. The middle schools will be implementing it next year. It has, well, I've been describing it as a mansion with lots of, what are they called, wings? Sections, areas. It has so much to it. Every time just the other day I discovered something and it's just, it's not a small thing, it's a huge thing. It just has a lot of opportunities in there for our students. So School Links is one thing and the High School and Beyond plan is sort of another piece that is embedded within it. So the High School and Beyond plan is required starting in 7th grade. Students need to work on it. School Links has activities that are required starting in 7th grade. But we'll be starting in our district in middle school next year. This year was just high school.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, James. We're going to move on to Abelia Avalos now.
Hello, I'm Abelia Avalos. I'm going to talk a little bit about the gardens, like Mr. Jarvis mentioned that I oversee. So AVID is, if you can go to the next slide, please. So AVID is the garden that I oversee. We're on year 8 with AVID. So we started back in 2018 with initial training. And so started offering AVID classes until now. So we offer AVID classes 9 through 12. And some of the goals that we've been working on is just making it school-wide implementation and then providing training opportunities too for the teachers as well to kind of support and learn some of the strategies to support student learning. And we also focus a lot on learning opportunities. And part of that, we have an Avid coordinator. His name is Ryan Cullen. So he helps out with he teaches also Avid classes, but he's an Avid coordinator. And then we also have an Avid site team that consists of just teachers as well. We kind of meet and have conversations about to focus on what we can do to support some of the type of learning. And then we also started doing Avid showcases. So last year we did open it up to the school district, to different schools to come in and, you know, kind of see some of the classrooms. This year what we did differently is we opened it just to our staff at the high school. And so I think that seemed like to have a good value. So some of the wins, we've seen a lot of our students attend YBC, YB Tech. So our 11th and 12th grade Avid classes are a little bit smaller, but we do see success that they are actually going and attending those courses. And then we also have been doing some Avid walkthroughs. So that's like the admin and staff and stuff. So we just, part of that, what we like to see is just ways, what we've seen is great success in the classrooms, but then opportunities too, to see where we can provide some more support for our staff. And the next piece of it too is Grizzly Success, so all the academic supports that we offer at the high school. So we have Grizzly Success, and then we have after school tutoring. So the academic supports, we have after school tutoring Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. That is offered to students, Saturday schools as well. That is on like twice a month for available for students, for all students. And then just this is probably going on maybe year 2 or 3. We teachers are doing academic blitz. So it's kind of just another after school that they do for being intentional, specifically started with just teachers with their own students, but then it's grown to like do it within PLCs. They'll kind of plan a date to be able to offer academic blitz, and that's opportunities for students to get additional support in tutoring or any help with assessments as well. And then Grizzly Success, so that's an additional 20 minutes that's built into the schedule that students have an opportunity. So if they have the way they are able to not have Grizzly Success at the C+ or higher, they get a little extra lunch. But that is initial 20 minutes that students have to work on any assignments they need to work on. I did start an action team to try to find ways to be able to support and find ways to make some improvements with Grizzly Success. And part of the next step that we're gonna do now is involve student voice on that. So yeah. And then the other piece is assessment. So I mainly do the coordinating organized state assessments. So those are big assessments, WIDA, SBA, WACAS. I do all the proctor training, parent student communication. Ludine Stiller, she is my right-hand person. So she is assessment coordinator. So she helps organize and kind of get everything ready for the state assessments on that piece. Oh yeah, we do have 2 more late starts next week. So yeah, and then I also support behavior, and so I'm gonna have Yarli kind of jump in as well too.
It's a quick
Oh
question.
yeah, go ahead.
So I know like the state testing is going on, right? So
Yes.
at the end, do we get a report of like how we did as a district, or do we get to see that? Okay. All right.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Yeraldi Espino. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, we both oversee the behavior system, and then I also oversee the safety and security. So if you can just go to the next slide there. So really the goal of our behavior system is really just how do we support students with any kind of behavior incidents, and then just improving their student engagement and their overall learning. So one thing that we started this year was we implemented a behavior flow chart. And really that was just to be consistent and being able to support teachers through the room support. So just having our behavior staff going into classrooms, and really the goal is just to keep students in the classroom learning instead of pulling them out or excluding them from the classroom. Another thing that we've really focused on is attendance and behavior trackers. And so really that involves our behavior team checking in with students, and students are taking that to every single one of their teachers and then taking it home. So there's always that consistent check-in from school to home. And then also another thing on there was increasing in parent communication. That was a big focus for this year, and just encouraging our teachers to have that communication, and then also an office with every minor and major incident. Is there anything that you wanted to add with that? Okay, and then if we go to the next slide. And really, in order to support everything that we do at Sunnyside High School, it's really ensuring that every student and every staff member, when they enter our building, is that they feel safe. And so really the goal is just increasing safety and security in our building. And some of the things that I focused on this year was really increasing the supervision in our building, and then also always coming back as a team, if that's with our admin team, our crisis planning team, and just really coming together and always looking at where can we improve and where is our next focus. And those are just some of the things that I have up there that we've really focused on this year. Any questions?
Yeah. I would like to say data though, right? Like this is great, but like when it comes to like behavior and things like that, I would like to see data of like, where were we at last year, like this time of year, where we're at this year, and the support systems were multi-tier, right? We're tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So just seeing like what the data looks like of where we were at maybe like in previous years and what we're, where we're at now, just to see if what is in place is working or what's not working, right?
Yeah.
So hope, for
Yeah.
future.
We do have the data, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's something that we go over with our Grizzly PLC every month as well.
How does, you mentioned that the behavior happens in the room. How does that work? Like, how does that look like?
The room support, is that what you're?
Yeah.
Yeah, with room support. So really, if a teacher is having an issue with a student, they're able to call the office, and so office radios room support. And so one of our behavior team is going to that classroom and providing that support. And what that looks like is they're able to allow the teacher to go outside and have a one-on-one conversation if that's what the teacher wants, and they're able to support and just be in the classroom, or they can pull that student. And usually we have, when they do call for that room support, they'll mention the student's name. And so sometimes we already have a support person that has been working with that student specifically. And so they're able to pull them out, have a conversation, if maybe that's just a walk around, and then, hey, how do we get you back in the classroom? Instead of like, hey, let's take you to the ISS room. So that's been one way of providing that room support.
What does it look like when someone has been out on suspension, expelled, and they're coming back, or they've gone through an issue where they're coming back into the school? How do you help support that student so that they don't feel targeted and they feel, I'm being welcomed back?
Yeah, so one way we do have our re-engagement meetings re-engagement meeting with Mr. Terry Shines, one of our social workers.
Is he the only one that does those?
So it's either him or someone from our behavior team as well. And so it's having that one-on-one conversation, or it's even meeting with the parent and the student and seeing what supports we can provide. So that way their way back in is that behavior is not reoccurring again. I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
And I do have to say, I noticed that you have paras up there. I want to shout out your paras. I don't know if they're all paras, but I always see the same ones out. I do pick up and drop off every single day for my daughter, and I see the same ones outside, no matter how hot, how cold it is, how rainy. And it's amazing to see them out there because you can tell that they really, really care and they want to be there for the kids. I think I always see Ismael. I think they call him Ram. I don't know his name, but my kids have said that they call him Ram.
Maybe Adrian.
Jalen.
Yeah. Oh, the kids.
They are, and I know that they're not part of the security staff. They're paras, but man, I want to give them a shout out because they are.
And we all work very. Yes, they do. They do.
Amazing. They wear. I assume they wear many hats, but they are amazing. I always see them. That's all from me.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to Mr. Shear.
Oh, wait, sorry. Sorry, it's public record now. The two programs that I oversee are CTE and SPED. And basically in CTE, we have basically 5 program areas: ag, skilled and technical, business and marketing, family and consumer science, and STEM. The department has 16 teachers now. We added public safety last year. We serve about 1,670 students average a trimester amongst all those teachers. They teach 4 classes a day. They all average, depends on the program. So like student store, we can only have like 20 in the store, 10 for each lunch. So that's kind of limited. Our athletic training program has about 20 to 25. And so that but the average is we have about 25 to 27 kids in every class when it kind of averages out. When we look at the different types of things that we do is one is CTE pathways. And if you look at the slide up there, we have a number of pathways, a total of 19 pathways out of the 5 programs. 75 different CTE classes for students to take that are offered. The kids get to pick the classes. Now with the high school and beyond plan, they have to pick a pathway. And so what we try to do is we offer the classes based upon that. And so it's kind of a demand based. And so what we also are going to do implementing for next year is looking at the SchoolLinks data of like what the kids are interested in and try to kind of like tailor those classes to try to do that. It's usually kind of a year, we're kind of a year behind because of the approval process, but really what we're trying to do is we're trying to meet the needs of the students. When we talk about pathway, the CTE pathway is one of 7 graduation pathways. And for that, you need 3 classes in a CTE pathway, one of the 19, and the senior capstone, which encompasses like the work-based learning experience and all those things that we need to be able to kind of like complete the pathway for the state. And that can be done in lieu of like passing both the math and science and all the other pathways. We also, through our JRTC program, they got certified as a testing site. So we're able to offer the ASVAB test, which has a cut score of 31. And we have had some students be able to make a pathway if they're struggling in other things. And so part of our goal is to try to support kids so they can get whatever their next best is, which is college, if they're going to go into the workforce or they're going to go into some sort of technical training to try to get them so they can get that diploma so they can go to the next step. Next slide, please. CTE dual credit. Presently, we have 10 CTE courses that are offered in CTE dual credit with YVCC or college and the high school with Eastern Washington University or Central. We've applied for dual credit for additional courses in 26-27 to expand this opportunity. And so far, we have 7 additional courses that have been approved with 12 course approvals out for approval that we're still waiting on. And we're kind of working back and forth with YVC. For example, just a week ago, we got approved for fabric arts with Central Washington University for dual credit. So those opportunities for students that they get a pathway, but also the opportunity for students to get a dual credit, which is also a way that they can, kind of enhance their transcript. Next slide, please. We also worked really hard this year. I think we put a lot of work on Holly at the district office because we had 27 separate submissions to the state to solidify up our CTE equivalencies. Our CTE courses have the opportunity to give state course subject equivalencies in the course subjects. We have 58 courses now that can give credit in English, visual and performing arts, health, science, math, PE, and history. And these equivalences help to support all students meeting their graduation requirements. And so we're hoping to expand that. The state is expanding. Agriculture education is expanding in science, and there's some other things that are coming down the road. Next slide, please. The last thing, I kind of want to save this. I just want to talk about the different 8 organizations that we have because I want to come next month to talk about our student showcase because of all the great student things that our students have done competing at local, regional, state, and have qualified for nationals. We have 8 CTE organizations that are attached to our CTE program: FBLA, DECA, Skills USA, FFA, FCCLA, WCTSMA, TSA, but also Army JROTC, which is, they just don't give those out. I mean, we're the only, when Mr. Maxwell was the principal, We worked really hard to get a JROTC to our area, and we basically got it, I think, in 2017. And it's a very competitive process, and we're very lucky to have that program. I'm going to switch, next slide, we're going to switch to SPED, or special education, which I'm also in charge of. In the building, we have 7 resource teachers. We have 4 LAC teachers and 2 psychologists. We manage over 250 IEP students to meet their educational and instructional needs. We're in the 2nd year of inclusion with the 9th and 10th grades. And it's been a journey because it's really kind of new territory for all of us. The state, the way that they have determined LRE, which is least restrictive environment, has forced us to kind of change from a model of we have all the kids in the resource, where we're really being like the only kids that are in the resource room are the kids that have of the most need. And we're going to go and we're going to co-teach and try to get those kids the best experience possible. So we're co-teaching in 9th and 10th grade math and ELA in 6 classrooms. We'll be expanding to the 11th grade next year. Next slide, please. There's a lot of things that we're doing, intentionally co-planning. We're working with basically all curricular areas in ways that we've never worked before, utilizing a lot of systems of support. We're collaborating with our counselors with the intentional scheduling of IEP students into co-taught, co-plan, and general ed classes. We're also working with and aligning with the middle schools so we make sure that that transition process is as seamless as possible. Next slide, please. The challenge. Well, the challenge is how to meet all these needs of the IEP students in the inclusion environment. And it's really working more with Gen Ed than we ever had before. So we just need to make sure that that's seamless and that we're making sure that all of our IEP students are being served. And really the difference with inclusion at SHS than maybe some of the other buildings is that everything is worth something. It's credit bearing, and we're working for the high school diploma. It's more high stakes, and really where the high school and beyond plan links with special education is that's their transition plan. So it's really important that we are following the IEP. And so when you were talking about support for those students, like to get their financial aid done, well, that would be the IEP case manager will be assisting and walking with that student, that particular student, because that's part of their high school and beyond plan, because it's part of their transition plan. So at least in the IEP or in the special education department, as part of a program, we'll be working hand in hand more in that area, and actually a transition plan will become more real.
Thank you for all that, what you guys are doing with inclusion and all the work, especially with 250 students, you said?
Yes.
That's a big load. Thank you.
And 40 are in our life skills, which is we're trying to change our language.
Yeah.
We're trying to change our language to kind of make it more inclusive. So we've kind of like gone away from LAC, which is a term that's kind of special to Sunnyside. Nobody knows what that means, but it's really our life skills, folks. Okay. We have 40 very profound IEP students that we support as well, which is a large amount for a district our size.
It is.
It also speaks to the service of our special education department.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Molly.
All right. Yeah, we actually have an event going on like right now at the high school, so that's all right.
Oh, that's why you look all antsy.
We have a drive-in. Yeah, we were supposed to all be 2 minutes only tonight per person, but Wally killed it. Okay. Go ahead, next slide. You've been hearing this a lot over the last several months. Cammie's had a chance to report to you guys on the student perspective, and I kick myself a little bit for not thinking about the presidents of all the clubs and bringing them together sooner than what we've done it. But now that we've got this group together, I'm excited to see where we go from here, having them making decisions, helping guide the school from a student's part, and then having them present to admin, to Grizzly PLC. So this piece here, we talked about it at the last board meeting. it was neat to hear the presidents talk about them being able to describe the conceptual framework, them being able to describe an adult that made them feel safe, put in time and energy, had something to offer, had a high standard and a belief that they could meet it. And they were able to describe all the supports that the staff members in our school put in place. And again, that's what creates our culture for learning, or SHS culture. We've had schools call and say, hey, can you help us with our PEP assemblies? It's not like somebody just waves a wand and you have a great PEP assembly. It's the relationships that happen in classrooms that allow when the whole school gets together to be able to celebrate. I hope that makes sense. So that's our why, and our why, the ability for adults and students to be able to connect to our school, the ability to build powerful relationships, to build that sense of belonging, for them to be able to see that the things that they're doing have a positive impact on what they're doing in our school and what they're going to be doing after SHS. Go ahead, next slide. Again, our Cami talked about this tonight. One of the things I would like to do too is duplicate this process with Red students, to get a group of Red students and to ask them what's going well and what can we do better. I think it would be a neat process to go through. They'd be able to, I know they would still be, and I heard this actually in my own advisory with some of the Red students I have, they are able to describe the support people in our building. They know them well. They could say, Mr. Lamos does this for me on a daily basis. We don't always see the transfer of that support into immediate changes. And that's something that James and I have talked about, Gabe and I have talked about. How do we help that relationship that they have with their support person transfer into the classroom? So I think that's one of the next things I would like to push forward before the end of the school year. And I know the time is clicking. Go ahead, next slide. And
Really,
then,
really quick, Dave,
yeah.
before we move on, is there support for them before they move into the red? Like I mean, I'm sure there is, but,
Yeah.
To be proactive with it?
Yeah,
when they're
I'm
in
sorry,
yellow,
when I was saying I want to get that perspective from the Red students, someone that's gotten in trouble, like they could tell you why Grizzly Success isn't working for them, or why after school tutoring doesn't work for them.
Oh.
That's the perspective I want. Yeah, there's a multitude of support systems that are in place for our yellows. We try to keep our growing the green. We talk about, we've been doing incentives this year where they gain Minga points. We call them Grizzly Pride points, and they can cash those in for t-shirts, sweatshirts. The Grizzly Gold is cup of noodle soup. So when they earn points from our staff, they can get those things. Go ahead. Absolutely. We've already got over 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I just thought one of my favorite examples of being proactive was we actually have 8th grade students who are struggling a bit come up to the high school in the month of May. And they go through a series of sessions with some of our staff. So we get to know them before the 8th grade year even ends. They get to know us ahead of time. And then, of course, they get special invites to the Grizzly Academy in the fall. So that's one of my favorite examples.
So this is we put a picture up there of just kind of all the different events we try to capture. We showed you the hype video that's been created. There's just so many different things we try to do to help all our staff and students feel, be a part of our high school. Okay.
Thank you.
I just have to say that it was actually longer than it's supposed to be, but it really is just a quick, broad stroke of all the things that are happening at the high school. And I think you probably got a sense just in this little bit here. It's thick and deep, and there's a lot going on, and we tried our best to kind of give you an idea of what's happening. And we could definitely get deeper in the weeds and look in data. We have all that. We can definitely take time to look at that further in the future. But I just need to say that this team, I'm really proud of this team and the work that they put in at growing the systems and helping the students. And I'm really proud of all the staff in our building. And you mentioned that, Raquel, the pairs, you see them, but from the teachers to our support staff and our cooks and our custodians. I mean, that is a big building, a lot of students, and the staff work really hard. Everybody works really hard at being the best they can be for our students. And I'm really proud of our students and them finding their voice
and understanding what it means. And I'm so proud to hear so many students say this, that once a Grizzly, always a Grizzly. They're taking it to heart. And I think that our school community, staff and students are coming together to make it a better place. And we're going to continue to grow in our collaborative efforts at doing that. So it all culminates to the big show. Yes, that's what's coming up. And you can go to the next slide. We have graduation. This is our advertising for last year. And we just met yesterday to put together our advertising for this year. And you're going to see that it may have some different artwork, but we're going to be sending out all the same information. And we got some key dates of all the different things coming up here about the second week of May. And about the third week of May, we're going to start sending out all the information for graduation and where you park and where you, how you get your tickets and how you enter, and all that stuff is coming out. And if you go to the next slide real quick, and here's just some key things that just for your reference. We have honor banquet coming up, scholarship ceremony, the moving up ceremony, senior breakfast and rehearsal, and the graduation, senior party. And we have the kindergartners coming to visit our school. I didn't put that there. There's a lot of things happening. Sunnyside High is an amazing place. And in May and the beginning of June is it's quite the celebration. So I know I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure everybody else is. And I hope you enjoy as we finish off this school year, guys. Yeah, thank you.
So, no, we're good. I'm good.
Any questions? Sorry.
No, I'm good.
Sandra was asking me right now if we get invited to all this, and I said, yes, we do get invited to all this. So you make sure she's invited. She wants to be there.
Ryan has it on our calendar too. So I think that's all.
And one of the things that I see that I just really love is when the students do the walkthrough to the different buildings, you know, and I love that. Like I've seen that, and I just think it's awesome that our seniors get to do a walkthrough to the schools.
Absolutely, Sandra. That's the senior breakfast and graduation rehearsal on the 4th. That's when they'll be doing that as well. Yes.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
I see that our PAC parents are in the audience. And remember, I had asked if they could come and present, and I think, did we forget to put it to the agenda? I asked. And so were we, I see the PAC is here. Did they want to come up? Could they come up and say a few things? I don't know if they.
We'll get them next month.
Next month? Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, moving on to item 4C on the agenda with superintendent report.
You know, Gabe saved me about 5 minutes because I was going to go over all the activities for graduation. So appreciate Gabe doing that. But I do have the calendar of May and June for you. This week, we call it Finishing Strong in our district because this is what it's all about, getting to the finish line for kids that have been in the district for 13 years. So so you are invited to all of the events. There's a lot going on here in the last few weeks. So you'll see that on here, and you can read the calendar on your own. I also want to point out next week is a very, very big week in the district, and that is Teacher Recognition Week. So please recognize a teacher, and I see a few in the room right now, so please do recognize them. It is also Speech Therapist Week too, so I don't want to leave them out either. I was reminded of that about a year ago, and so it's those two things next week. So we will be going around recognizing all of both groups. Also, I wanted to remind you that we are switching the board meeting next month to the Wednesday. My computer just shut off on me. Thank you. So the board meeting will be on the 27th instead of the 28th. And the 28th will be the Second Harvest food bank that I think many of us are going to work at in place of the board meeting. So we're moving that forward a month. So that's the last couple of months. So thank you very much.
Okay, moving on now to consent agenda. The consent agenda, excuse me. The consent agenda involves A, approval of minutes for March 24th, 2026 board work session. B, approval of minutes for March 26th, 2026 regular board of directors meeting. C, policies. D, contract list ratification. E, award letter, managed internal broadband services, internal connections, and basic maintenance of internal connections. F, payroll and vouchers. G, budget status. H, personnel, and I, enrollment. I did want to, there was a couple of policies that we needed to pull, right? 54, so 5,000, we'll pull 5,000 for further discussion, as well as 5401 and 5404. 54, Chris, 5401 and 5404? Yep. That's what I wrote from the other day that you mentioned. Yeah. For a new first reading. Yeah, to go. Oh, okay. So do we need a? Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I motion to approve the agenda.
Can I get a second?
I will second it.
All those in favor? No?
Aye. Oh, no?
Oh, we're pulling them? Okay, so we're gonna pull 5,000, 5401, and 5404 for first reading, for new first reading. Right?
And those are the ones that they just needed to give us further information with.
Yeah, the 5,000 is the one I wanted to pull to discuss further, because I had a lot of questions on that one, and then 5401 and 5404 are the ones that Chris wanted to back. Oh, no, yeah. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I too vote aye, motion passes. I'm sorry, is there any discussion? Okay. Motion, it's been moved and seconded and motion passes. And then moving on to items for good of the order. And open public comment. Is there any open public comment? Thank you, Lorenzo. Okay, so starting off with Jonathan Babcock.
Come on down.
Hello.
I want you to know I live for the microphone. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So I want you to know, first of all, there is no place I would rather be than Sunnyside School District. I want you to know that we're making some great strides in equipping teachers to own the education of scholars through empowered collaborative structures. For example, representative members of our dual language teachers at Sun Valley, both Spanish and English, have partnered with instructional coaches from every building, OSPI representatives, and administrators to craft our new dual language curriculum map, which integrates rigorous work of reading, acquiring knowledge, listening, speaking, social studies, and science as kindergarteners. This has been a truly collaborative process where educators were empowered to own this educational journey. Additionally, PD offered by Luis Cruz, thank you, and around professional learning communities, and Sarah Schul around math and the power of professional learning communities, has begun to have the staff dreaming of a brighter future of teaching and learning. We still have some room for improvement. I want to talk a little bit about special education. Special education services within the Sunnyside School community. For example, we have to do better at identifying every single scholar that qualifies for special education services. This has nothing to do with labeling scholars and everything to do with equity. When students are not identified, evaluated, and qualified for special education services, they are not accessing the critical content that will help them be successful in life, college, and career. It's about getting them the services they need to access the content so that they can be successful in this journey. As we head into next week, where we will be celebrating the teachers that are in classrooms every single day to lift scholars to their dreams, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the 12 spectacular provisional teachers that are not currently going to have an opportunity to move into continuing contracts and continue offering dream-lifting instruction here in Sunnyside. These are outstanding teachers with so much to offer our scholars. It does make me wonder if there are not other non-student facing cuts that should have been considered. All these points connect to a single goal, ensuring every single student has access to high quality instruction every single day. I want to repeat what I said at the start of this. There is no place I'd rather be than Sunnyside School District.
Thank you, Jonathan. Maria Fernandez. Turn on, yeah. There you go.
Oh, there we go. I'm here to address serious concerns about accessibility, professionalism, and the way the board shows up in public spaces, especially during work sessions where the community is expected to sit quietly and simply observe. At the last work session, there were clear and repeated failures in accessibility. Jill Peterson did not consistently use her microphone, making it difficult, at times impossible, for people in the room and those attending on Zoom to hear what was being said. When this was brought up, the response from her was dismissive. I was told, "You can move forward." That response is unacceptable. This is not about one person. It's about every community member that relies on basic accommodations to participate. People with hearing challenges, people attending remotely, and anyone trying to follow along deserve equal access. Dismissing those concerns sends a message that accessibility is an inconvenience rather than a responsibility. On top of that, the superintendent's presentation was not made available as a link and was not clearly visible on the monitor. So even in a meeting where the public is not allowed to speak, we were also put in a position where we cannot effectively see or hear what is happening. That is not transparency, it is exclusion. Work sessions may not include public comment, but they are still public meetings. The expectation should be even higher, not lower, because the community has no ability to engage or ask for clarification in real time. I also need to address the conduct of board member Ana Sainz. There is a consistent pattern in her facial expressions, demeanor, and vocal tone that leaves community members confused, uncomfortable, and frustrated. We saw it directly when we saw the tears of one of the family members of somebody who had passed away. During this meeting, her visible reactions, what many perceived as anger, dismissiveness, and hostility, created a tense environment for students and families who were present. This is not an isolated incident, it's a pattern. When families show up, especially around emotionally significant issues like recognizing deceased students on the path to graduation, they deserve to be met with empathy and respect. Instead, the atmosphere felt combative and unwelcoming. The lack of self-awareness and emotional intelligence was actually quite harmful to many from the community who came to the work session hoping to see progress made toward honoring their loved ones. And that leads to a larger concern. It is increasingly difficult to understand whether two board members are showing up to serve or to perform. The tone, the dismissiveness, the visible frustrations, it comes across as if these meetings are approached as a battlefield or an opportunity to grandstand rather than a place to thoughtfully
time is up.
work
Sorry.
on behalf of students and families. So reconsider your behaviors next time.
Okay, any items for good of the order? Any comment?
I do have one. I left the meeting the other night. You know, it's hard when we we have a table of very strong opinionated people here. And I appreciate every opinion. And I think when I left the other night, the one thought that came to my mind, and I actually ran into Evaristo the other day and I expressed this to him as well, is that when we get together and we have a shared difference of opinion, that's okay. I really appreciate that at the end of the day, we got the work done. And that's the most important thing. And so I think, yes, sometimes we will see passion, and yes, sometimes we may, you know, share an opinion that the rest of the group thinks is crazy, you know, but at the end of the day, I think we all have the best intention for our students. And I just wanted to say I was really proud of the board on Tuesday night, because we did have some big topics to cover and some things that could be really detrimental or life-changing to our community as a whole. And so I think I left the meeting the other night just impressed that we could get it all done, and that we were able to share our opinions, and we could walk away still smiling and appreciating one another. So I just want to share that. Every meeting that I go into, that's my goal, is that we get the work of the board done. And I'm proud of all of us for getting that done on Tuesday night. So thank you for all working together to do that.
Thank you, Jill. Anna?
Likewise, I'm very proud of us. I am very passionate, very expressive, very active. So if it seems like I'm mad, I already explained my reasoning. All this came up because of student past things. So if you ever feel that I offend you, please don't hesitate to come and talk to me. Or if I'm offensive, okay? I'm very easygoing. And so, like I said, if it seemed like I was brash or insensitive, it's in the contrary, okay? So thank you guys, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, Anna. Did you have any items for good of the order? Sandra?
I will share. So going off of both Anna and Jill's comment, this is where again, a retreat is good, right? We're gonna do a retreat together where we are 5 big personalities here. So learning how to work together through these things, it's not an easy task. So but at the end of the day, we are here for, you know, our students, our families, and our community. And so I know we will continue to move forward, you know, together as a board. I do want to share some statistics with you, because we did have an event at the Sunnyside Community Center that was in partnership with our Sunnyside School District, Yakima Valley Partners for Education, and City of Sunnyside, as well as YVC. So this was especially for our seniors, current seniors needing like next steps, applying, and then also for our past graduates or anybody that just needed any, you know, help with getting into higher education, if it was through like trade schools, apprenticeships, whatever that looked like. So I do want to share some data, because I am really big on data. So we did have over 100 people in attendance, and we had received 62 surveys. So those were 62 students going through to receive help. We had 10 students from Grandview, 2 from Granger, 4 from Mapton, 1 from Prosser, 44 from Sunnyside, and 1 from Yakima. So actions that were completed is that we had 24 financial aid applications complete, which I was super excited. We had 14 admission applications. We had 10 students that left with at least outlined next steps. And then 16 students left with secured contact information from the different institutions that we had there. So we had over 9 institutions that were there to help support our students. We had 8 students come through for technical and trade schools. Then, those that connected, there were 7 that connected for high school completion and equivalency, so like GED. So we did have over 37 that connected with the colleges and universities that were there. And then also 10 connected for scholarships. So out of 5, we got a rating of 4.72. And so I'm really proud of the work that was put into it because, I see the work that the high school does, but also for our students that have graduated and said, oh, I'm going to take a year off or something. And the year has passed and they need help with like financial aid or whatever that may look like. This was an opportunity to bring our community together. And I really appreciate the collaboration, right, with the school district. Thank you, Ryan, for allowing the laptops there that our students were able to use, and our school board that was involved too in helping in this event. So I really appreciate it, and I hope that we continue to move forward to make higher education more accessible, to our students. And yeah, I just want to share that with you. And then also, I feel like I live at the high school now because I'm always there. I'm really thankful for my job, where I'm able to help students get into higher education. And so I've been there, I'm there almost every other Wednesday, and for like senior nights and college nights, whatever that may look like. So I really appreciate it. And just the staff that always, goes above and beyond for our students into getting into higher education. So thank you.
And after showing all that data, she's still so humble about her event. I wanted to gush about it. She put us, Evaristo and I, to work, and we were the greeters. And it was amazing to see how many people came through that night. The current students as well, amazing to see them. But what really, really touched my heart is the alumni that came by that have graduated in 1, 2, 3 years ago that didn't know how to fill out their FAFSA or how to apply to a college, and they got there with their parent and their laptop and ready to fill out FAFSA. I know I went through it. I was a first gen and I had no idea how to fill out these important papers and these important documents and applications. So that was really amazing to see them come through. And it was also amazing that you helped other, cities too. That was really, really cool. The City of Sunnyside partnership, I hope that, I saw the mayor earlier. I don't know if she's still, I hope we continue to foster that relationship because, we didn't have to pay for the use of the community center. So that's awesome. Again, the laptops also, thank you, Ryan, for providing those. Those were really useful. I think at one point when I walked in to do a walkthrough, they all had somebody on every single laptop. I talked about the alumni, first gen, and the incentives. The incentives are really cool. If whoever signed up or filled out their FAFSA that night got a $25 gift card, and these kids need gas money all the time, so I'm sure that helped. And then the free dinner, and then also I think that YVC was waiving their fee, and numerous of the other colleges were waiving their fee as well. So it was an amazing, amazing event. Sandra puts her heart and soul into these events, and I'm so, so grateful and proud to be doing this work alongside her. And, just puts us to work, and it's okay. I do want to talk about the May 28th. We are doing a second harvest at Central Park from 2 to 5. I got an email that the times had to change, so it'll be from 2 to 5. So put the word out. We do need more volunteers, so if anybody would like to volunteer, email me, get a hold of me. And then also let's see, what else was I think that was it. Yeah. So yeah, our YVC was able to donate the gift cards for our students at the event, and then also YVP, so Yakima Valley Partners for Education, was able to provide the food. So we had tacos that night from Tacos Chavez, and they were really good. So, and then also since I did see Mayor Vicky here in the audience, it's her birthday today, so happy birthday, Mayor Vicky. Gonna hate you for that. To add to the comments earlier about work session, I agree. We are 5 very strong personalities, and it's hard to manage that or go. work with people like that. And we've only been doing this for a few months. I appreciate you taking accountability, Anna. I think that's really important for us to be held accountable, and apologize. So, yeah, I apologize too. I recognize that I need to follow my, what did we call it? Decorum and know when to use what I'm supposed to do as president. So I will do better at that. And thank you guys again for being here. I'm so proud of you guys. I can't tell you guys how proud I am of you guys every day. I talk about you guys, all of you guys. I don't know some of your names, but I talk about Sunnyside students all the time because I am so proud of you guys. Thank you. Can I get a motion to adjourn the April 30th, 2026 regular school board meeting?
I move to I move to adjourn our April 30th, 2026 regular Board of Directors meeting.
In a second.
I second it.
Okay, meeting. Oh,
so
is that what you guys are here? And to like, okay, so yes, we're moving on to second reading. So it's gone through the first reading, and next board session will be the second reading and approval of that policy. So congratulations.
So you guys can rest easy tonight. You guys can sleep. Yeah.
Patient and waiting. That's amazing. Keep coming, you guys. It's really important to hear from you guys. Keep coming and making public comment. Okay.